that the Senate do suspend Senator NATASHA SUSPENSION for 6 months for a total violation of the Senate Standing Rules 2023. Those in support of prayer one say aye.
Aye.
Those against say nay.
As we just watched, the Nigerian Senate held a very moody session today. As you can see, the faces in the Senate was very, very calm, kind of moody, like a dark cloud. Like a dark cloud was over the Nigerian Senate today. Because as you are aware, I'm sure all the senators there came prepared. They knew what the plan was. They knew what the menu was, the menu that was to be served in the Senate today, which was the suspension of the senator representing Kogi Central, NATASHA SUSPENSION. You know, for those of you who are not up to date with what has been happening between Senator Godswill Akpabio, who is the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Senator NATASHA SUSPENSION, the senator representing Kogi Central. For those of you who are still new to the story and the brouhaha that has been happening between two of them, I would like to read out a brief timeline of the activities that led us up till today, that you now watched what you saw on television and maybe you were surprised that what did I just watch? What has been happening? I'm late to the party. You know, let me read out a brief timeline to bring you up to date. Senator NATASHA SUSPENSION has been suspended from the Nigerian Senate for 6 months, effective from March 2025, March 6th, following a series of events involving allegations against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Now, on February 20th, a dispute arose between Senator Uduaghan, that's Senator NATASHA, and Senate President Akpabio over seating arrangement in the Senate. So you see. Then on late February, following the seating dispute, Senator NATASHA accused Akpabio of sexual harassment and abuse of office. She submitted a petition to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Petition. On March 5th, the Senate Committee on Ethics dismissed her petition, citing procedural violations, and as it was personally signed by her, and which contravened Senate rules. On March 6th, the Senate Committee on Ethics recommended a 6-month suspension for Senator NATASHA, citing violations of Senate standing rules and actions that brought the Senate into disrepute. The Senate adopted the recommendation, leading to her suspension. Now, these are the counts of her suspension. 1. During 6 months suspension, duration, 6 months suspension from all legislative activities. She is hereby suspended effective March 6th, 2025. Now, she is prohibited from entering the National Assembly premises during the period of her suspension. Her office will be closed, and all Senate properties in her possession must be returned to the clerk of the National Assembly. Her salaries and allowances are hereby stopped during this period. She is barred from carrying herself as a senator, both domestically and internationally during this period. Her security details has been withdrawn during this period. Now, there's also a clause for the Senate to consider lifting all the suspension or reducing it. She must submit a written apology to the Senate. She must submit a written apology to the Senate. There is something I want to add here, because I watched the whole process. I watched the video that came out, and I noticed that Godswill Akpabio was very magnanimous. He did not allow her, he refused throwing her under the bus like that, though he had the power to say, okay, fine, you are gone for 6 months, but he still gave her a room to apologize. And something funny happened when he was saying, let us take the prayer, let us take let us put it to debate. Should she apologize, and do we consider if she apologizes? Most of the senators there didn't even want her to have that opportunity. They were No, the Nays have it. But he knew that the Nays had it. But he still allowed it to take it again until they still said the Nays were even louder than the Ayes. But he was just being diplomatic and knew the mood of the day, that he is not like I would like call it a ruthless person. He still let her have a little opportunity to still, apologize and come back. So that means, as it stands now, Natasha has an opportunity to resume work tomorrow, on the condition that she can apologize to the Senate, which she brought to disrepute. So why I read all this is this. This is politics. This is politics in Nigeria, and sometimes people don't understand it. If you are too emotional about this politics, sometimes you get it wrong. This is not a time to play politics in everything. I've always said it, and I've done a video about this before. Natasha, I think this whole episode, this whole scenario was unnecessary in the first place. Even foreign countries, anywhere you are, you must work as a team with people around you. You can't enter into an environment with your fellow colleagues and you start harboring ill will against the person. And sometimes it's good to trace your matter or to address your matter immediately. When you said Akpabio, approached you, that was the moment you should have rebuked him privately. But you kept silent about it. You didn't even rebuke the man. When he asked you out as a married woman, which ethically I think is wrong if he did that, but that was the moment you should have rebuked him in private. Yes. But you kept quiet since 2023, and you're coming out now because you had an issue in the Senate and you felt it was not favoring you. Then you decided it was a time for you to get back at him. That was childish to me. Come on, Natasha, that was childish to me. Yes, that was childish. Of which, if he had done his job for you very well, if he had played his card for you very well, maybe got you as his friend, or maybe if he had been favoring you in the Senate, you would never have done that thing you did that day. That's exactly it. But because bad blood had entered, can you tell us the history of the bad blood you had? Can you just spare us the secrets? What happened? What brought up this bad blood? Because you and him know the bad blood. But you will never tell us this one. And that is what Nigerians want to know. We want to know everything. We want to know the whole secrets. Don't hide anyone. Yes? Oh, yes. For this suspension, I think you deserve this suspension. I think you deserve it because the Senate is not about Akpabio alone. Akpabio is not the Senate. He is the Senate president. But you were accused of denigrating the Senate which you are part of. That was the accusation. Also, the presiding officer, yes, but there were two accusations. That you brought your Senate to disrepute, and that you also brought the presiding officer to disrepute. So if you take away Akpabio's accusation, you still have the Senate to contend with. Your colleagues, none of them could even say yay for you. I watched the video. You didn't have one person that liked you in there to say yes for you. That says a lot about this whole episode. Not everybody there is an APC member. But it's not, it was unanimous in the judgment against you. Unanimous. Spare me of all the emotions. I have gone through Twitter. I have gone through Facebook and X. I have seen the emotions of people putting your video, trying to clap hand for you. You're a very decent woman. A very wonderful senator. I think you deserve a second term. I think you even deserve a shot at governorship of your state. And I think you're a woman of virtue because hardly do you have much scandals around yourself. So I'm not doubting your personality. But for this matter, definitely, madam, you are very, very wrong. And you deserve this suspension. There are other ways you should have taken this matter. There are other channels you should have done this. You would have even won if you had played your cards very well. Don't let people deceive you, telling you, you will win, you will win, you will win. There's no winning here. There is no winning here. You lost. Your people lost. Nigeria lost. Because now, for these past few days, we have been carried away by this whole episode and charade. Unnecessary episode and charade. You didn't need to do this. All you needed to do was whatever problem you had with the Senator Akpabio, you address it privately and personally. That is it. So I've told you, you need to go back and apologize to the Senate. I don't think you should sit out the 6 months. Don't wait for the 6 months. Let people not go. Let people not lead you wrongly. I trust your judgment, madam. I trust your judgment. And I believe you know what's right for you. Sit with your husband, discuss this whole matter, go to Akpabio and apologize. You know why I say so? You have no evidence. If you have evidence, I will say, madam, bring your evidence. Don't apologize. Bring it forth. Do you have evidence? You accuse the principal officer, the third man of Nigeria, of flirting with you? I'm not saying that flirting is good or bad or whatever, but you accused him. That means it seems that it's a bad thing. And if you said, okay, it's a bad thing because you're married, which is very, very wrong. That is ethically wrong because even your husband happened to be his friend. According to you, your husband is his friend. So why would you, as a public officer holding a very high position, be seen with another man's wife in a kind of a very compromising way? Of course, that is ethically wrong. And you came out to speak such without evidence. You know what it means? It means now that you have soiled his image. You have also tarnished his personality. And you don't have evidence for these things. This world is very emotional. Women are very, very emotional beings. And people tend to believe them a lot. And I respect women so much that, personally speaking, I would be easy for people to convince me too that a woman did something to him. I will believe because that's a woman. But the world we are living in now, women are getting wiser. And they tend to take advantage of their privileges as women. So when you're coming forth like this, you must come with evidence, madam. Having said that, I have told you what to do. Go to the Senate, plead your case with the senators, talk to them, lobby them, and get this suspension over your neck. You have made your point clear and we have heard you. You have made your points clear. In fact, it's a win-win situation because now you are somehow an advantage because Nigerians are filled with emotions and people are already tilting towards you. Some are saying that the Senate president is also he's presiding over his own case. That means he's guilty. And he thought he was harsh. To me, I thought he wasn't that harsh because I felt he was hot. I felt he was calm. He was kind to have given you that olive branch to apologize to him. If you can't apologize to him, then you should pursue the case with evidence. But pending when you can't do that, if you know you can't do that, I think it's best you go and apologize immediately. Go and apologize. Go. Say you're sorry. Even if it happened. But because you don't have evidence for it, even if it happened, because I'm a man, it's possible. But you don't have evidence. Please, madam. Please. For the sake of a political career, 6 months is a very long time. Don't toe this part. Nigeria forget people so fast. All these people praising you, they're not your friends. Just that their interests are aligned. They want to see Nigeria, maybe collapse, or they want to see our government being shamed because of one thing or the other. But I advise you, don't do that. Don't do that. Remember, this same country made you a senator. Your people made a senator. This same country made a senator. This same country supported you to where you are today. So let's protect the country and work towards making it work. And I'm here to make sure this country works. I'm going to call out who should be called out with all respect and with all honesty. That's what we do on this channel. We say no to any form of discrimination and disrespect. That's the truth. I've been your host, Chinedu, signing out on this episode of Direct on the Spot, the show where we hit it hard and hot on matters of concern that shape and affect our daily lives. Sign out. Peace.